What is the best niche for a trainee mortgage broker? This question got my head spinning when I was planning it today, and I'm very excited to dive into it. It's one that most people, when they're coming into the mortgage industry, are always thinking, who do I work with? Who do I target? And it's one I get in the DMs on Instagram quite a bit. And so today we're going to unpack it. Very excited, and hopefully you can leave with a little bit of an idea of where you should be going as a trainee. Before we go any further, my name is Ash Borland. I'm a business coach and brand strategist helping mortgage brokers simplify success. Over the years, I've helped hundreds of mortgage brokers improve their impact and income, but today's content is focused on helping new people get into the industry. Let's dive into it. So what is the best niche for a trainee broker? Straight away, real answer is don't get too worried about niches when you first start out. That is the first thing I would say. Most advisors, there's this thing around niching and marketing. And, I've been a culprit of this over the years, not anymore, but people that talk about know your niche, focus on a niche. And the truth is, when you're cutting your teeth and you're a trainee, any mortgage is a good mortgage. Just do the mortgage. Don't focus on the niche. The reason why I say that is because you can get too caught up in this analysis paralysis of thinking, I need to have the answers to all of the questions, and I can only work with military, or I can only work with NHS, I'm only going to work with first-time buyer, I'm only going to work with, and it actually, in a time when it's very stressful as is, I get DMs from you guys quite a bit talking about what is it like, your first months and weeks and even year as an advisor. I know it's stressful. It is very hard. The learning curve is steep. And so chucking in a niche on top of that and stressing about it, not a good idea. So that's the first thing I'd say to you. Don't be overly hard on yourself about a niche. Now, what one should you choose? Because you might want to. So if you do want to choose a niche and you do want to go down that route, then the best thing to talk about with niche is remember that your niche is not something you just pick. It is something that you kind of already have. And this is what I always say, it's a bit like Harry Potter's wand. It chooses you, not the other way around. And we've all seen that scene where when it's, in Ollivander's wand shop. Not really a big Harry Potter, big fan. But I think it's when all of the stuff is coming out, of this, we've all seen it in the first movie. So what I often see is new people coming into the industry, and they'll go, I'm going to work with doctors. And you go, great. Do you have any experience with doctors? No. Then why are you working with doctors? Because they have good money. Okay. But unless you have access to the people, and this is the thing about niche, unless you have access, it is a waste of time. I niche in mortgage services and financial services, specifically mortgage brokers, because I was a broker. My dad was in the industry. My sister was a broker. My other family members have been brokers. Most of my friends are brokers. If they weren't, they were estate agents. It is part of my family and kind of our culture and in our blood. It's what we do. So I know that industry in and out. And so because of that, that meant that just naturally, when I became a consultant, a coach and a consultant, it just naturally became my niche. It just was what happened. But I didn't wake up and just decide. And I think that's the thing we need to do. Think strategically. Well, I did choose it. I did wake up and go, I'm not an idiot. Pick the one that's going to pay me the most money. That's the niche I know. So pick something you know. So what does that look like? Well, if you are young, say sub 30, if you are sub 30 years old and you haven't got much experience in life, and that, by the way, that's fine if you're below 30. I was a mortgage broker at 23, I think. So you can do that. But my niche when I was a mortgage broker, my focus and my energy was spent on first-time buyers. Why is that the case? Because those people know nothing too. But you will struggle to advise people. I'm not saying you can't, but you will struggle to advise people and come across authoritative as somebody who knows this stuff if you are 23, 24, 25, 26, and you are talking to them about their, multiple landlords, property portfolio. That doesn't look good. Unless you are one of those people who do have that, then great, that's fine. But it doesn't normally look good. You see this in places like Connells and Countrywide, where they do take on lots of younger people, which is, again, fine. And actually not just fine, great. Bring more young people into the industry. I like it. But you do see them. I was that guy. I say you do see him. I was that guy where I was sat there and it's like, you're a buy-to-let specialist. I was not a buy-to-let specialist. Still to this day, I am not a buy-to-let specialist. I still to this day do not know hardly anything about buy-to-let. Enough to be regulated, qualified. I could have done them. I've done them over the years. But no way would someone say to me, would you be a buy-to-let specialist? No. So, but they'll make you do that. So it's full of those. So the best thing to do is go into what you know. So if you are, and I just had a message from somebody actually today that was saying that they're just joining mortgage services now, but they're going in, they're setting up, but then they're going to niche. And they are going to niche in doctors. But they themselves have been a doctor. This is a second career. They are coming into mortgages older, having been a medical doctor. Well, that big difference, gigantic difference on that, because now this person has credibility. They know people, they know the network, they can leverage that network. It's very exciting. Actually, I was very excited about the message. I was like, this is really cool. Obviously, I don't work with people at that point. I work with them once they're established. So, but I'm hoping this guy will come back to me in a year or two's time when he's established, because there's some great stuff we can do with that niche. Really good stuff. And so that's one of those things where that's a great example. So if you know mechanics, you've been a mechanic, your dad's a mechanic, whatever, go there. You know NHS. What do you know? That can be where your niche is. That's a big one about the best niche to go. That's the best one to choose, because the best one you want is the one you have the most influence in at the youngest, at the beginning. Anything else outside of that, you are going to get yourself caught up in a proper mess. So don't get caught up in that too. Finding the right niche as a trainee mortgage broker is all about understanding where you can bring the most value. If you want to take the next step and learn how to build strong connections and establish yourself as a trusted expert in your field, then check out this video on screen right now, which is top tips from mortgage brokers. It's packed with actionable tips that is going to help you take your career to that next level.